David's eldest brother was condescending in the way he spoke so harshly to David and negative at its best. His response to David breathed the impression to everyone listening that David is an unqualified shepherd of a few sheep, so stop listening to him. Why didn't David first respond in defense of himself when David already had three esteemed positions? First, he was King Saul's armor-bearer, 1 Samuel 16 verse 21. Second, he was King Saul's special musician, hired to relieve King Saul of an evil spirit which troubled him, 1 Samuel 16 verse 19 and verse 22 to verse 23. And third, he was already anointed king by the most revered prophet of that time, Samuel, and his brother was aware of this, 1 Samuel 16 verse 13. David had a key many in the kingdom of light are missing, and therefore we have dynamic men and women of God, and yet they are ineffective in ministry. Some spend most of the time defending themselves, while some spend time worrying what others have to say about them or what others think about them and not what God desires from them. The key is humility. It's not merely pretending to be humble, but becoming dead to your selfish desires, your selfish motives, and your own will, and becoming 100% focused on God's will. Christ puts it this way in Luke 9 verse 23 to verse 24, reading from the Message Bible. Then he, referring to Jesus, told them what they could expect for themselves. Anyone who intends to come with me has to let me lead. You're not in the driver's seat. I am. Don't run from suffering. Embrace it. Follow me and I'll show you how. Self-help is no help at all. Self-sacrifice is the way, my way, to find yourself, your true self. Christ highlights 6 points in this text. 1. Anyone coming after Christ must let Christ lead, and he confirms by saying, I am in the driver's seat. Take special note of the revelation revealed in this text. He calls himself by the name revealed to Moses in Exodus 3 verse 14. I am, meaning Christ is all sufficient and you're not. Therefore, he is the best person to be driving. 2. Don't run from suffering, but embrace it. This is hard for many, but Christ comforts us with the next point. 3. Follow Christ and he will teach us how. He is most qualified for this according to Philippians 2 verse 5 to verse 8. He was equal with God and yet humbled himself to die a bitter death on a cross, therefore declaring to all mankind there is no position too exalted that we cannot humble ourselves. 4. Self-help is no help. In other words, stop trying to help yourself. Just let go and let Christ take control. 5. By sacrificing your own will and desire, you will find a true and fulfilling purpose you were created for. Paul rephrases Christ's teaching in this way in Romans 12 and verse 1. The Message version reads, so here's what I want you to do. God helping you. Take your everyday ordinary life, your sleeping, your eating, going to work, and walking around life, and place it before God as an offering. Embracing what God does for you is the best thing you can do for him. Paul focused attention on turning our everyday life into an offering for Christ. In other words, whatsoever we do it like it is done unto Christ, according to Colossians 3 verse 17. Or do so by ensuring how we live our entire existence here brings glory and praise to God. David demonstrates this consistently. We read in 1 Samuel 16, as I highlighted earlier, that David was King Saul's hired musician and armor bearer. However, When Saul went to battle, David humbled himself and returned home to care for his father's sheep. When his father called on him to take food down to his 3 brothers, he again humbly took on this task without arguing that there were 4 other brothers at home who could perform this task. Notice it was David's humble obedience to this assignment that brought him to the battlefield at the perfect time. Jesus said, "He that humbles himself shall be exalted." Luke 14 verse 11. Ask yourself the following questions and make the necessary changes. 1. Are you willing to suffer so Christ is glorified? 2. Do you mind others receiving credit for your hard work as long as Christ is magnified? 3. If God asks you to give up something dear to you, this could be your job or business or the ministry you sweat to build, will you? 4. What is your driving force? Is it your own desires or God's will? Remember, this key gave David a perpetual throne through his descendant, Jesus Christ. Subscribe to receive more videos like this and follow the link on the screen to watch the second key in detail to be inspired.